Here.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Valorant video. This is another tutorial video and today we will be looking at none other than Cypher himself. We will be looking at his abilities in the same order as always, C, Q, E and his ultimate. If you have different buttons or different bindings, we will be looking at his abilities in the order of his trap, his camera, his cage, his camera and his ultimate. Now, you might be noticing something different from the standard video, and that is we are currently on ascent instead of actually being in the shooting range. The reason for that is Cypher has recently just gained some amazing quality of life buffs, and the only way to display those buffs to you accurately is to do it on a map. I won't show you every map with Cypher because that would be unbelievably long as a video, but I will show you what things you can do and the freedom you now have with Cypher as a character. So, we will be going over the buffs respective to what they are. So when we're talking about his traps, we'll be going any buffs the traps have had, the cages, the camera, and his ultimate. So, starting from the beginning, I'll do what I normally do, where I explain what are some notable Cypher players. Currently, Acre the Dog is probably at the top of the list, because he is making some unbelievable Cypher smoke lineups, and showing that the character has a lot of potential when played outside of the box. So, kudos to him. He's made some really cool cage traps, as well as cage setups. He deserves all the likes, shares, comments, anything you can give him. Go make it sure he gets it, because he is an amazing player. As well as Dapper. Dapper has gained a name for himself as a famous Cypher player due to his toxicity. He is an unbelievably toxic Cypher main and one of my favorite players of Valorant of all time. So, to get into the character, Cypher's C is his cage, which has one of the most, if not the most satisfying activation animation in the entire game. Cypher can place a tripwire in between any two surfaces, which has a travel time, and then it will connect, forming a line across, like so. Any enemies that trip the line will then be tagged for the entire duration that they are tagged for, as well as a few seconds after the Cypher trap explodes. Upon exploding, the Cypher trap will deal 5 damage. Yes, you can kill people like this, but it's very rare that will happen. Ignore these for now, I'll talk about these in a second. So, what are the buffs that Cypher's trap actually underwent? Number 1, none of Cypher's abilities can now be destroyed by utility. That involves his camera and his Q ally utility. You can still use shock darts and nades to destroy Cypher utility, as well as KO dagger to disable it, but now if allies shock dart Cypher traps or allies nade Cypher traps or his camera, they will no longer be destroyed. As well as Cypher's traps have extended range now. They went from 1000 units to 1500 units, which is where these two traps come in. These traps would not have been possible without the new buffs. These are some very powerful traps because they are unexpected. Most people, when they push sight, they will instantly run towards here or this way to close the door. But at least one person will get tripped by these traps every single time, because naturally, whenever you push this sight, you head either towards gen or towards boxes. Could these be destroyed very easily? Yes. People can also jump on top of them, but this is where Cypher's kit is so good, because we will be swiftly talking about synergy as we get to later abilities. But for now, the Cypher trips are much better than they used to be. The range they can be used at is absolutely ludicrous, and you can do some really silly things with them now. Like, look, you can literally put a trap there. That probably was possible beforehand, but it's just an insane buff. It makes the character very good. Let me see if I could just freestyle a really strong wire. Just see if there's one that I can get that will travel really far. If I can't get one, I'll stop trying. But oh, there we go. There's one right there. Never used this wire before. That wire is 1500 units long. You could not do that before a Cypher. This is insane. Do you realize how strong a trap like this is? You see someone pushing from mid catwalk. Cypher's on site. They want a lurk tree. Nah. You look here, you push through. What the fuck is the Cypher trap? You'll have to turn around. Oh wait, you can't shoot it because there's a cage here that the Cypher put down. He triggers the cage. How the hell are you gonna see where to shoot the trap? It's gonna be behind the cage. This is gonna be so strong for anyone playing in heaven. You guys don't understand how excited I am about this. I love playing Cypher. He is so fun and so enjoyable when played correctly. So, once I've done fucking fangirling over the Cypher buffs, they are very good. Also very healthy. I don't think they make the character overpowered. I don't think his position in the meta is going to shift incredibly. He's going to be a much better sentinel to play for every other Cypher main out there. He has needed these buffs for a really long time, and thank you, Riot. You've actually made a really good decision. Now, moving on. Cypher's trap is another very useful ability because of its versatility. Cypher chucks out a trap that lands on the floor, and upon pressing F on top of it, it triggers a smoke. The smoke that has this weird, interesting effect. It's a very unique smoke, the only one of its kind in the game. And whenever enemies walk through the smoke, there's an audible, loud click, bang sort of sound, as well as a visual flare showing that someone has gone into the cage. I will say that the Cypher cage is a bit of a double-edged sword, whereas it's a very good smoke, but it can still catch you out quite a bit. There's not really much to say about the fact that its versatility allows it to be very good for one-ways. So now the Cypher can trap his sight, and especially on Ascent, the one-ways are so strong because from up here, you'll be able to see the enemy's feet, but they won't be able to see you in heaven. You could just shoot them down. If you want to know how to put your cage up there, just want to angle yourself about here, practice this, and you'll be able to put a one-way trap like so. Same thing on the other side. Honestly, you only just need to spin your camera around a bit. You don't really need to do much. But if I was to show you what the enemies would see with these traps if I activate them now, obviously you only get 2 per match. You have no line of sight of heaven no matter where you are. You'd have to push all the way under the trap to see it. As well as, if I put the cage up there again, I probably won't get it from here. Yeah, there we go. If I put another cage up here, what the Cypher player could do is by using heaven. Good God, I'm missing the lineup now. I taught myself the lineup and now I'm missing it. If the Cypher player is playing heaven, they can jump on this box. If they know they're getting pushed, they just need to trigger the camera. They might be able to see your feet, but it's still a very awkward angle to be aiming for when you can't see the rest of the body. This character is very powerful, guys. Please take the time to learn him. He is amazing to play, especially the traps. The traps are going to be so annoying now, and I can't wait for it. So, moving on. Cypher's camera is literally very similar to the tripwire if you can set it from a certain distance. By the way, the distance you can put Cypher's camera up has increased now. It used to be 1200 units, it's now 1800 units. I'm going to try and display that right now. You can put his camera on the wall from all the way over here. That's how far it can travel now. It can be activated by pressing E and deactivated by pressing the same button. Every 15 seconds, I want to say 10 seconds, Cypher's camera gains a charge, much like a silver drone, except this camera has infinite charges. It will fire a bolt. If the bolt tags an enemy, they will begin to glow. Now, what are the changes that the camera has undergone? I think it's a 5-second cooldown, actually. 5 or 6 second cooldown. Now, if the camera tags an enemy, what will happen is they will begin to glow yellow. I thought they were going to change the way enemies look when they're tagged the same way the Sova tag works, but I feel like that would be slightly overpowered, and it would also make Cypher lose some of his identity, because then he'd just be a better version of Sova in quotation marks. He'd have the same versatility, but just with sight holding ability power. They just need to be really careful with the changes they make, because you want Cypher to maintain his unique ideology as a character. It will ping the enemy indefinitely. What does the ping look like? Well, if I was to tag an enemy right now, I'm going to put it up on screen in the corner. There would be a glow that will happen behind a wall. Now, the change they've done to the glow is it's much fainter now to help you distinguish between enemies and utility that you've hit, as well as enemies who are standing on top of each other. And it goes away much faster, which means the Cypher player will have to pay more attention to the actual tag as they are looking at it, because it will just go away much faster. However, now it will no longer make enemies glow to add a visual glare to your screen and visual clutter whenever you're peeking someone. So if I was to tag an enemy here and I'm playing Cypher, not off the map, and I'm playing Cypher here, if the enemy is tagged, when I peek and I'm facing them, they'll no longer glow, which makes it a lot easier to hit my shots. So very nice quality of life buff, very good nerfs to balance Cypher out. There's not much to say about camera. Once again, it cannot be destroyed by ally utility. It can be taken out by a single enemy bullet to the camera. However, it goes invisible. This is where the power of the camera comes from. Once the camera is set up, it is completely invisible up until you activate it, and then it is visible to the enemy. As well as it makes an audio cue sound. So even if we have the camera somewhere up here, what's going on? Hello? Somewhere up there, the enemy will be able to hear when you activate the camera, turn around and destroy it, as well as the camera can actually be seen by the enemies for a few seconds after you deactivate it. Did you see that noise? If you guys say that, that's the point where the camera is completely invisible to the enemy. You also don't want to always tag the enemy with your camera. You want to use it to get information. So, for example, if I show you, this camera was a camera that was, hello? Why can I not pick up the camera? That's so odd. What's happening? Oh, it must be bugged out. Cypher does tend to have bugs like these, but this one's really weird. I'm supposed to be able to pick up the camera by hovering F over it. Ah, it does look like it's bugged out. I'm just going to end the round. Bear with me for a second. If Cypher is playing defense on B, is what I was going to get to. Thank you, Cypher, I'm aware. Is what I was going to get to, is this is a camera that was actually used in pro play, where the player actually just put a camera up here, and instead of tagging any enemies, he just kept the camera turned on and kept telling his allies where they were. So a lot of the time, it's actually better to save your bullets, not shoot out and give away the location of your camera, but rather use it just to get guaranteed information. Now, moving on, Cypher's ultimate is, much like his cage, a double-edged sword, or at least it used to be. Whenever Cypher is near a corpse, he can activate his ultimate, which will begin to tag all the enemies on the map. Now, what are the changes this ultimate has undergone? Now it can be cast from further away, which is really good for Cypher, and I think I made the mistake. It's Cypher's hat that can be cast further away, not his camera. I'm sorry. That is definitely my bad. I just read the actual complete changes. All I knew about was the fact that they extended the tripwire distance. But yeah, he casts his hat away, and after a delay, it will tag the position of every enemy on the map with the same faint yellow outline as Cypher's camera. Now, after a 4-second delay from the initial tag, it will tag enemies again, as well as it no longer has a cooldown. So right now, if Cypher gets a kill, he has about, I think, 20 to 30 seconds to activate his ultimate in order to tag enemies. That is indefinite now. That is the best buff Riot could have given Cypher ever, because it was very annoying as a sentinel for you to have to peek and risk your own life just to be able to use your ultimate. Cypher's ultimate cannot be destroyed whether you shoot at it with or use abilities. The only way to interrupt his ultimate is to kill Cypher whilst he's casting it. As well as, here's the really cool thing about his ultimate. This is, as far as I'm aware, the only ultimate in the game that changes the physical appearance of a character. When you use Cypher's ultimate, he throws out his hat, and for the rest of the duration of that round, Cypher no longer has his hat. It makes no gameplay difference other than the fact that Cypher's visuals look a bit different. His hitboxes remain the same, the entire character model remains basically unchanged, but he does look very funny without a hat on, I'll have to say. He looks very comical, because he sort of resembles a thumb, so to speak. But yeah, those are all the changes I can think of. That is Cypher in a nutshell. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, make sure to like, subscribe, and share the content so new people can learn how to play Cypher, or new people can get interested in Valorant. If I have missed anything, or if there's anything else you'd like to add, make sure to leave in the comments down below. I have been Event the Black Free, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.